Good evening, all. We're about to see a review of the year, and the theme that surfaces in our court, school, community services is the responsiveness of CMRS. We had false starts, on-again, off-agains, yet the relentless flexibility of our volunteers in this year of disruption has been so evident. We thank you. There is another theme woven into our past year. Our lives and our work were turned upside down just as we began our strategic planning process. It became clear that it was less important to make concrete plans for the next few years and more important to be grounded in a sense of who we are. So in the year that the rug was pulled out from under our feet, we have become, ironically, more grounded. Our mission beckons us to be focused on community, to start seeing systems and invisible design, to see that conflict and harm in the building of community takes place in a context. We create space for conversation and listening, we sit with people in the messiness, and we lift up the collective wisdom of those conversations to shape the very way our community understands conflict and harm. As you reflect on the past year, as you engage with CMRS in the next year, I hope you get to see and feel this other theme that is emerging. It shows up when we look at our purpose through an equity lens. It is evident when we make space for context and we lift up stories. You see it among the collaboration as we build community in search of collective impact. Thank you.
Good evening, CMRS volunteers. On behalf of Community Mediation and Restorative Services, I would like to express our appreciation and gratitude for your valuable contribution. We are grateful for your energy, enthusiasm, and dedication. You make our mission that much stronger. Thank you. My proudest moments for CMRS is how we've managed to provide services and resources for community during these challenging times.
In managing court during this pandemic, so much has changed, and there have been more and more learning experiences, and the learning curve really is to realize that we are absolutely immersed in a trajectory to being more proficient in the Zoom tools and the tools of Google Docs. We have had trainings for mediators right from the beginning because we shifted right from the beginning to virtual mediation.
What I have really been proud of about CMRS during the pandemic is just the ability to create a space to see whether we can resolve these disputes, and the ability to continue to evolve that space so that we can continue to make it as useful as we can for people.
And so there are no in-person mediations happening, and they're all virtual. And we have a co-mediation model where every mediator has a tech now that makes sure to be somebody that can help them with navigating with the parties you're meeting with in a shuttle basis to navigate those documents that we have now virtually.
And we don't resolve everything, obviously, we never do, but we're not letting the pandemic stop us from at least making that space for people.
Seeing firsthand in court the technology being used by the staff and the skill of the volunteers, I'm impressed at the adaptability to continue the mission.
Okay, also, we want to make sure you know that we are continuing with referrals from juvenile court and Headway, and we are handling those restorative conferences also via Zoom, and the magic is still there. Great outcomes.
During this pandemic, our schools team has worked really hard to ensure that services are provided to teachers and to children. We've worked in a digital format, allowing for connection via Circle. We've provided mindfulness circles, circles of support for kids to debrief really hard topics and places for kids to just find a centering and find an opportunity to chat with other young people.
Hi, I'm Heather. I serve Robbinsdale area schools and Hopkins. And this year, I think have really shifted to supporting staff in meeting their own goals about how they want to implement restorative practice.
Hi, I'm Seaside and I serve Robbinsdale area schools and Osseo schools. And this year, specifically with Sandburg Middle School, we have been doing circle trainings and teaching students how to do circles and how to play just games and doing a lot of community building activities.
Thanks, Seaside. I'm Sam. I work with Robbinsdale area schools, and I think this year the biggest shift has been creating spaces that are student guided and proactive in relationship building and really watching them flourish as the students speak their needs.
Thanks, Sam. Hi, I'm Joyce and I serve the Robbinsdale School District. And this year I've had an amazing opportunity to work with students at the Robbinsdale Virtual Academy, giving them a safe space to have a social circle.
The schools team has really had an opportunity to be there for teachers and students, even in the pressing situations throughout this year.
I'm a grandparent of a 8th grader who goes to Plymouth Middle School. He was in the hallway when the shots were fired, and he was skillfully directed out of the school and told to run as far as he can. The next day, CMRS staff went to meet with the teachers and staff out there. And I'm very grateful for that because certainly, even though no one was hit with a bullet, people were wounded. So thank you very much.
Well, 2020 was a much different year for CMRS as it was for all of us. While we converted to virtual meetings, which we'd done a little bit in the past, we really had to find ways of adapting to community needs. And some of the ways that I'm most proud of are through our culturally specific grants, where we were working with partners in culturally specific communities.
For example, I was the grant manager for the cultural specific grant with Hennepin County to be able to reach out to culturally marginalized communities through trusted messengers in the community organizations and initiatives to help reach out to Hennepin County residents. So I manage over 30 different partners in the community. I managed that grant successfully.
The pandemic has had a devastating effect on on renters, and CMRS has been in the forefront of responding to those needs, working with culturally specific agencies to reach out to those renters that may need rent relief.
It's been a huge year for housing. In addition to the culturally specific grantee and now Project Hope, we also integrated financial services with mediation services and helped people keep the lights on and help people remain housed by working with the COVID Housing Assistance Program, otherwise known as CHAP.
The incredible opportunity to help change people's lives. There has been a vast struggle in how people engage with resources, with each other, and with the judicial system.
Yeah, I just really love that the program was so personable and that we got to talk to people on the phone and that people felt a lot of relief just actually hearing a voice on the other side and not like an answering machine.
CMRS has wholeheartedly allowed us and me the opportunity to help make people's lives better.
Thank you for being on this wild ride with us, and thank you for being community.
Community.
Response.
Adaptive.
Humble.
Agile.
Scrappy.
Strong.
Progressive.
Responsive.
Constructive.
Collaborative.
Connected. Creative.
Flexible.
Grounded.